Good afternoon, everyone, and good day to all. My name is Rudy Page, and welcome once again to one of our dialogues. And this dialogue is about business and creativity. And given these uncertain times, it's creativity amongst entrepreneurs for bringing new products, improving services. And so I'm really pleased today that we've got an entrepreneur called David LICORISH. David, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine, Rudy. How are you?
Great. All is well. Great to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
So, David, before we get into the business that you've created, tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from, where your family's from.
Okay, well, my family are from a small island in the Caribbean called Grenada, as you all know. I myself was born here.
Yeah.
I was born in Kilburn, northwest London.
Okay.
I won't tell you when. It was in the 60s.
Okay.
And okay, for most of my adult life, I've been a martial arts instructor, a taekwondo instructor.
Okay.
So that has basically been my background.
Great. Interesting stuff. So where did the idea for Know Your Space, the card game, come from?
Okay, well, if I can give you the spark, we're going to have to go way back to, when was it, 2012, London Olympics 2012.
Okay.
That's the spark. That's when there was the spark. I was looking at the medals table for the Olympics. An article called the Alternative Medals Table. Okay, now we all know the medals table is countries, medals won, and usually it's the big heads at the top, USA, Russia, whatever, they're usually at the top. But this article was the alternative medal table, and I was shocked to see Grenada at the top.
Really?
Okay, so that kind of grabbed my interest. Yeah, that grabbed my interest. And what it was medals won by country, but also by population. Okay,
as a proportion of the population.
Yeah. And there's only roughly about 100,000 people in Grenada, and they won a gold medal. So we were sitting at the top of the table. And I actually think it's a truer reflection of a country's worth if you add that other element into it, the actual population. So that kind of piqued my interest, and I started looking at all of the other Grenadians in the diaspora that have achieved great things. And I looked at, in that case, it was the Olympic champion Karani James. You have Lewis Hamilton, the world champion. You have an Oscar winner in Steve McQueen. There was a Miss World winner in 1970. There's a war hero in Harry Johnson. There's the greatest Calypsonian in The Mighty Sparrow, although he was only there for a year, but we still claim him anyway. Yeah, there was the Invasion, and you have the mother of the greatest black activist ever, Malcolm X. They all came from this tiny little island of Grenada.
And just to add one before you go on, David, there's Derek Clement, the #1 UK Afro hairstylist for at least the last 30 years. Clintons, you better not forget Derek.
I was only limited by who I could put in. So basically what I did with that, I decided to create a board game, okay, of all of these different characters and events that happened in Grenadian history. And this is the board game. This was a prototype of the board game that I created, the Grenadian Diaspora. And we'd moved on from 2012 by now, and it's during the pandemic. So I got this sample made up, but now the pandemic has hit, and it's basically affecting the shipping. It's taking too long to get here. So what I did was I niched the game down. So part of the game was about places in Grenada, but also places where throughout the diaspora where Grenadians were, USA, Canada, the UK. So what I did was I niched the game down, and I created Know Your Space. So I niched it down to this. So this is what the game is involves today. This is how I niched it down from the board game to this today. So that's kind of the journey of what has happened. And in each of the cards, basically there are 68 locations. And what I've done is I've converted locations into numbers. So with Grenada, you've got starting at number 1 down in the south, place called Lansapine, all the way up through the 6 different parishes to the north at number 68.
Right, okay? So that's 68 different places within Grenada.
Within Grenada.
So have you been to all of them, or how did you identify?
I've been to most of them.
Okay.
There's the places that I choose are sort of like my Coca-Cola has a secret recipe.
Right.
So that Levi Roots has a secret recipe for his sauce.
Yeah.
The way I go about choosing the locations is kind of like a little secret amongst
Okay.
But basically what I've done is I've created 6 different games. Once you convert them into numbers, I created 6 different games that help improve your knowledge of the place. There's a place there.
Right. So I was going to ask you, what are the benefits of playing the game?
So benefits of playing the game are, apart from the health benefits of, say, for instance, improving your coordination, improving your memory, reducing stress. These are benefits for general game playing. I like to focus on the social aspect of playing this game.
Yeah.
Playing with your family, playing with your friends, bonding. Just an example, Rudy, I play with my mother, and we're playing this game now, and all of a sudden she'll see a town or a place, and she'll start saying, "Oh, when I was a young girl, your grandfather used to take me here, and this, that," and you start getting all of these stories. I never heard all of these stories in all the time I've been alive, but we're playing this game. Places are coming up. She's telling me stories. Well, we was that old man that used to live up on the hill over, and so and so. So I found that it really helped in that social aspect.
That social interaction, and it's intergenerational. That's what's great about it as well.
Yeah. When I'm promoting the game, I promote the young ones and the older ones. You can play together. You can get some great stories out of it. So that's the social side of it. But also there's an educational side of it. All the games that I started with Grenada, I moved on to Jamaica, and then I moved on to Barbados. Prior to me doing this game, I didn't know anything about Jamaica. I didn't know how many parishes, I didn't know where they were, etc. Now I know there are 14 parishes in Jamaica. I know the order of the parishes. Now I know that there are 11 parishes in Barbados. At the top is at the bottom is Christchurch. As I'm conceiving the idea and as I'm playing the game, I'm also learning. But that's the benefit of this particular game.
That sounds good. So that also sounds as though it's also flexible, so that if there are any changes, you can adapt. For example, Jamaica now has 15 parishes.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. So it's just basically as I'm giving examples, as I'm promoting the game and I'm giving examples, it's not rocket science. What I'm doing, but what I'm finding is people don't know anything.
No, absolutely.
How many parishes there are? Which
and
one
you
is
can
in
respond
the west?
to the feedback.
Which one is in the east?
Well,
Yes, you can. Okay, but what as I've said, what I'm also doing when I go out to these events is I'm finding that people just don't have a basic knowledge of where they're from. And I was in the same boat. I was in the same boat too. So what I'm hoping for is when you play the game, you get a basic knowledge, and then you can take that elsewhere.
Exactly.
Stand on it.
Yeah, and it's the learning elements which are really important, because as you said, you can get history out of that. You can get current stories. You've got the Windrush generation full of stories, which you know, we haven't even scratched the surface yet of the Windrush
Absolutely.
stories in this country, let alone, you know, the other countries where our families went to the US and
Absolutely.
Canada. So I think it's great. And the fact that it also, you've extended it to other Caribbean islands, which means it's something that could be licensed, isn't it, as a concept to
Yes.
any neighborhood
Yeah.
around the globe, you know.
It can be. At the moment, I've trademarked certain elements of the game.
Right.
Absolutely right. It can go, you know, it can go anywhere. It can be licensed and it can be taken anywhere. I'm speaking to a few people in Grenada and Barbados and Jamaica along those lines.
Yeah. I think we can link you up with a General Saint. He's written a book and he's also got the game, you know, video game as well, in terms of the rebirth of Nanny and the Maroons. So I think there's definitely some collaboration
Absolutely
between you. But not only that, what I'm particularly impressed about what you've done as well, it's about thinking, and which is given, you know, having come through lockdown, many of us had to think, reflect on who we are, what we've been doing, what we really intend to do next.
Yes.
And so to my mind, I've spent many years used to organizing domino tournaments. And of course, you know, like cards, it's a game of the mind, you know, and it's competitive as well, because you know how competitive Caribbean people are, seriously competitive at these sort of things. So again, I can just definitely see it as a mind sport, you know, and young people will take it as sport and they will compete with it, as you know. Teamwork, leadership, all of those things can be adapted.
You know, Rudy, right at the start of it, I always saw it as, and you mentioned about using other Caribbean islands. I always looked at dominoes as the inspiration for this game. Competitions, let's see who's the best in the Grenadian version. You go through to the next round, you compete against another Windward Island, then you compete against the Leeward Islands, then you compete about the whole of the Caribbean. So I always saw that competition at the end of this. And I'm quite excited.
I think it's got an important role to play, because, as I said, it delivers learning for young people, you know, and also it's social, and those intergenerational relationships, again, that's knowledge sharing going both ways, of course, between elders and young people. So I think it's something that we should really get behind, hence you're on here today. And of course, we'll be rebroadcasting this dialogue on Fresh FM Radio London as well, and sharing this message across all our networks. So how can people help you in your mission to promote the game?
Okay, I like to use the 3 Ps: purchasing, playing, and partnerships. Okay, the purchasing, buy the game. Yeah, that's the first thing. I need a game right now so I can generate income to create more games, more countries. As I said, I want more countries. I want all the countries across the Caribbean. I go to events. Have you got Dominique? When are you going to get Dominica? When are you going to get Antigua? When are you going to get St. Louis? When are you going to get all of these other islands? So I obviously need I need people to purchase the game. So if you're from Grenada, if you're from Barbados, if you're from Jamaica, and they have been doing it. Fair play to everybody. Everybody's been very supportive of me. So I need to generate funds to create more games for more islands. So that's the purchasing side of it. Those that have bought the game, I want them to play the game, not just leave it sitting on the shelf. I know it's a beautiful package. I know it looks great. It looks fantastic. It's in a nice rigid box. But I want people opening it up and actually playing it and getting the word out there. Play it on a regular basis. Don't have to wait till Christmas to buy and purchase this and play it. You can play it every Sunday. You can play it at a get together. You can play it whenever you play your dominoes. You can play this on the next table. you know. So you don't have to be stuck with just one. So I need people to actually play, to promote it and get the word out there. And finally, the partnership is, I'm looking at large organizations who can, how can I put it? Large organizations who have access to people from the Caribbean, who would like to collaborate with me in a partnership whereby they make a large order. I could get it fairly cheaply. It costs nothing to them as a large organization. So that's the side of it.
Yeah, so that's what we would call the CSR side, corporate social responsibility. So they purchase that and then distribute it, because it's something that could go to primary schools. If you think of young people in Grenada or wherever, you know, primary school, what's important about that can then be turned into a competition, an arts competition, a creative, a digital competition.
You
know, and it's amazing what can be done, and that's why creativity is the key to solving all problems. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It
can go anywhere. It can go anywhere. It can go anywhere.
Yeah, and also the important element, we talk about the 21st century skills and the importance of those skills being present in things that we do. So collaboration, communication, creativity, critical thinking. They're all bound in the game, which is excellent.
Yes.
So how can people get hold of the game?
Okay, so I am on the website THEMEFLOWGame.com. I'm on the Instagram. I'm mainly on Instagram out of all of the social media platforms. Instagram, where my handle is at Know Your Space Card Game, or my name at DF LICORISH. As I say, I'm on the Amazon website. On Amazon, they're more expensive. They're £25. My bread and butter, what I like to do is the events that I go to throughout the year, the various markets that I go to throughout the year. It's a lot cheaper. I get to explain the game. You get to play the game. It's more interactive, and you get a better feel for the game. So that's how people can get hold of the game.
So how long does a game take normally?
Okay, so when I first started, it took a few months.
Right.
But now I've kind of got the workflow down.
Right. No, I mean in terms of somebody playing the game. How long?
So actually playing the game.
A few months sounds a long time to be playing a card.
As long as you go. Okay, so that's a good question, Rudy, because what I've done, there's a set of rules in the game.
Right.
So I say the Grenadian version has 10 games in there, and there are rules on there on the actual cards, and the Jamaican, the Barbadian one has 6 rules on there. Now, the way I've laid it out is I tell you how to play the game, and I have one set way of winning. But I'm expecting people to be flexible in, once they understand how to play the game, you can then set the clock for 30 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
For 30 minutes. And then whoever's got the most cards, or whoever's whatever, the game can end there. Excellent. So there's many ways in which you can end it. So if I was to say to people, you could play for 30 minutes, you can play for an hour if you want.
Yeah, and again, that's great for competition, isn't it?
Yes.
You have your rounds, best at 30, and then you can go to another round that could be a bit longer or less time. Or that's great.
Because for me, there are many different aspects to creating actually a card game.
Yeah.
As people know or don't know. What I particularly like is what's called a vying card game, where you compare. These are normally quick rounds where you compare.
Yes.
You have a set of rules, and then each person compares their hand, and a winner is declared, and then you play another game.
Okay.
That's a vying kind of game. Compare, and that's the kind of style that I like to do. But as you said, or as I said, it can end when you want first 1 to 5. they
Yeah.
win.
Right.
Play
Yeah.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
and the game ends there. Yeah.
All right. Stop the clock, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. So what are your plans for the future?
Okay, the plans for the future. Wow. You know, you could have your plans, your 5-year plans, whatever, but I am flexible
Yeah.
about that. I want to have as many countries as possible, not just in the Caribbean. I want the whole world. If I could say 200 odd, I know that's going to take a while. My company's called THEMEFLOW Games, and we're not just doing Know Your Space range, but I'm also working on a card game, a quiz card game type of game about Black film characters.
Okay.
Which I'm quite excited about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, but ultimately, the future, I want to follow the lead of Domino's, and I want to try and get it into the psyche of us in the Caribbean and in Africa.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about playing a game, man, you're thinking about the table and the dominoes. But I want
a pack in every home, isn't it?
Yeah, a pack in every home.
And bar. And bar.
In every home, yes, absolutely. That's what I want. That's what I want for the future. But I'm enjoying the ride of promoting it. I never lose sight of that. I'm not just looking at the future. I'm enjoying meeting people, and I'm enjoying them engaging in the game as well.
Great. Very well done. And we certainly look forward to supporting you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rudy.
Thank you very much for coming on the platform, and see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudy.
Yes, one more time, just let everybody know. It's Know Your Space, the card game. Know Your Space, the card game. Absolutely. Excellent. And it is Jamaica 60 this year, so I'm sure Jamaicans should buy a few packs of those. I've got quite a few events to go to. The last event I was at was the Black Culture Market in Brixton. That went very well. Okay. So there's quite a few events that have lined up throughout the year, and hopefully, people engage in it and purchase. Absolutely. And we will definitely talk because of Jamaica 60, and we will certainly come to a deal. Take care and see you soon. Thank you very much, Rudy. Thank you. Bye. Bye.